Last time on Apollo Justice, Ace Attorney. What the shit? Oh no. Oh no, 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 no. No, this man is evil. He's the murderer. I don't care who actually is. This guy needs to go to jail. There's something wrong with him. Hey guys, Ryan here, and welcome back to Apollo Justice, Ace Attorney. So, sorry if it's been a little bit since I did the last episode. I've been trying to fix a very annoying problem with the emulator that I'm using, but looks like I'm just gonna have to keep doing my fix manually like I have been. So, that aside, let's get started. So, last time we were questioning Mr. Brushel on what... I actually don't even remember what the first question was. All I know is we proved him wrong like we always do. I think I just recalled a so-called important detail. A revival of recollection, end quote. A story's survival, end quote. Attorney utterly confused, end quote. Actually, I did notice something when I visited the studio. I heard of poison that takes its sweet time, see? But not what I've seen, but not what I've been saying for the last few minutes, apparently. Mr. Brushel, are you saying you noticed something that explains what happened? Yes, yeah, you bet I am. The antidote for a poisonous contradiction, end quote, you might say. Or, I still have no idea what you're talking about, end quote, I might say. I figured it out, but only after an in-depth interview. See, thanks to my journalism skills, I know who poisoned that coffee. Order, order! As far as I can tell, the witness is standing by his testimony. That Mr. Misham died the instant after he drank. Of course, I'm standing by my testimony. And my dream of exclusive rights to this story. I suppose it was too much to hope for. What was? Of course he wouldn't choose a simple case, not him. Oh, he's talking about Phoenix. Of course he wouldn't just choose a regular case for you, Apollo. He has to set up the grand finale. Him? Phoenix Wright, who else? Octung, Brushel. Report for us. I guess it's Octone, I got it wrong again. Report for us if you would. What is it that you noticed? This court is a critical trial of the justice system. No more lollygagging. I'm afraid no room for doubt is permissible. You will testify to the court about what you noticed. I guess this kind of system goes in our favor. And one of you guys told me in the comments section, the reason why they're testing the system like this is because in the Phoenix Wright universe, it's supposed to be abiding by Japan's legal systems, I guess, which are different from our American juris system by far, which I kind of expected. What Brushel noticed. When I arrived at the studio, Mr. Misham was at his desk. He seemed to be writing a letter, but he quickly sealed the envelope. I thought nothing of it at the time, of course. Now that I am to think about it, what if he was writing a suicide note? Oh, a suicide note. Yes, he had this look on his face. Man's face inscrutable as a quadratic equation, end quote. Suicide? Poor Mr. Misham. Well, that means Vera's innocent. Would someone commit suicide in the middle of an interview? Oh. Very well, you may begin your cross-examination. I just imagine him, he's like he's asking him questions, and he looks down at his paper, and he looks up, and he's dead, and he's like, oh, another one died. Maybe I should make these questions more interesting. When I arrived at the studio, Mr. Misham was at his desk. Oh, there we go. Was there anyone at the studio other than Mr. Misham? Well, his daughter Vera, of course. Was anyone besides Mr. Misham and Vera present? Not a single one, not a cat, not a rat, not even a mouse. The only person who didn't belong to that studio was you, wasn't it, Mr. Brushel? I know what you're doing, I know your game. Attorney uses classic Ramsden phenomenon ploy, end quote. If you intend to suggest that this reporter is a suspect, I'm sure you also intend to present evidence supporting that assertion, right? In the meantime, let's move along, shall we? God damn it, Clavier. Fine. You're so convincing. Oh, no, I skipped that one. No, go back. He seemed to be writing a letter, but he quickly sealed the envelope. So he put the letter away when he saw you. Early reporter gets worm, end quote. That's my secret. I'm not sure I follow. It's the night of the interview. I arrived 15 minutes ahead of schedule. The handle turns, the door opens, and I barge in. Are you sure that's okay to do? I mean, isn't that unlawful entry, really? It doesn't matter. That's how I get into everyone's house. That's how I got into your house, Apollo. Wait, what do you... Nothing. Don't worry about that. Mr. Misham sure seemed to think so. You should have seen him. He crammed his letter into that yellow envelope as fast as he could. I'm already seeing a contradiction here. That was pretty quick. The envelope's red, not yellow. I know a secret when I spot one, and that was one. It does seem significant. Well, Mr. Justice, I wonder. It does have the ring of something important. Add to testimony. Yeah, I already see the contradiction in this. Very well, please add it to the testimony then. Hey, why not? My account comes free of charge. Yeah, you're a liar. It's no yellow envelope. No, I didn't mean to... sorry, I'm using a controller. But yeah, the envelope was red, not yellow, so I don't know what he's talking about, but... Objection! Your Honor, that statement contradicts this evidence. It does? I don't see anything contradictory. Wait, what? Did I push the wrong thing? Did I accidentally select something wrong with the controller? Because that had to be the right thing. Hold on, let me try that again. Objection overruled. Doesn't matter if you push the wrong button. There you go. Dead. A yellow envelope. I heard it was left at the crime scene. I'm gonna try again because I really feel like this is the right answer. Okay, good. I did just mess it up with my controller. As it just so happens, there was a single letter in a desk drawer at the scene. In a red envelope. Wow. Oh, Jesus. Let me assume my final form. Prosecutor Gavin. Yes? Was a yellow envelope found at the scene of the crime? Unfortunately, no. But our forehead. It's easy to mistake the color of an envelope. I guess. But not this envelope. You see, it was postmarked already 7 years ago. Well, Mr. Brushel, I can explain that. Drew, right? He wanted to get that letter in an envelope pronto. Get it out of sight of my beady eyes, right? So I grabbed the nearest envelope and crammed away. And what about the whole red and yellow envelope contradiction, chump? Well, Mr. Justice, have you anything to say to the witness's claim? That night, the victim put a letter he had been writing in a red envelope. It's impossible. That's impossible. I like your expression, so full of confidence. It's simple, really. As it just so happens, the defense team investigated the contents of the envelope. With, the assistance of a forensic scientist. He means me, the most brilliant and- Yeah, you. What? Note that this letter is addressed to Drew Misham. Ow! Why would he address a letter to himself? Let alone send a suicide note to himself. That just sounds kind of weird. Writes the note, Dear me, in case you kill yourself, please read this. I've been scooped. Wow. I don't like him. I don't like him at all. I have to admit, he is the type of character that I was just waiting to show up. And I was talking about, like, the last characters are so bland or the last two people who committed the crime. I'm not sure if he committed the crime. I want it to be him. I really do, because I don't like him. But still, he is the kind of goofy thing I was looking forward to. Order, order, order. Please stop trying to kill yourself with your tie. Mr. Brushel, can you explain this to the court? Oh my. How could I have forgotten? I suppose this happens to the best of us. Reporter gets old, forgets lots, end quote. I'm still waiting for an explanation. Judge isn't taking any shit today. I'm on camera. Well, that's the thing, see? After he put the letter in that envelope, Mr. Misham sat there searching his desk drawer for something. His desk drawer? Yes, a stamp, a so-called postage stamp, end quote. A stamp? Whatever for? Well, to mail his letter, what else? And then, why yes, I think I saw him put it in his letterbox. Yes, it was a yellow envelope, and he put it in that box. Well, apparently this yellow letter is nothing to... Oh, how I wish it did. Just think if that were a suicide note, what a story. Star writes suicide note in front of reporter, falls, end quote. As I was saying, there's nothing to do with this case. Jesus, Judge, you're really not in the mood today. I'm always in the mood for you, Clavier. That said, yes, Your Honor. It makes me wonder about the contents of that red envelope. Drew Misham. Oh yeah, because those are the two things saying Drew Misham deposited $100,000. $100,000 is quite a good deal of money. So this was from 7 years ago, yeah? Oh, what's with your nose, sir? There is something wrong with it. So, am I finished here? I mean, am I finished here? I was thinking of, going home to start writing. Look at me snap in place, making no sound whatsoever. I hate to state what should be pretty obvious to anyone, but when you catch the scent of a story, you make that, rather unique face. Oh. Come on! Attorney has active imagination, little else. End quote. I didn't even need to use my vibrating arm dildo to catch that. Even I noticed something, and my eyes aren't quite what they used to be. I'm starting to understand what all this perceiving stuff is about. Maybe I have the power just like Apollo does. Judge has active imagination, end quotes. Please continue with your testimony. Tell us about the scent of a story. Hey, I'm the one asking the questions here. Usually. Witness testimony. Scent of a story. Actually, it took a bit of work to get a thumbs up on the interview. Reporter leverages story, gets his interview, end quote. The story concerned a certain case from 7 years ago. The red envelope probably had something to do with it. Say what you will, but Drew's talent was without compare. So you threatened to go to the press with this story? That's how you got your interview? Blackmail? Well, yes. I mean, no. It wasn't exactly black. I mean, I'm not... Something wrong, Mr. Brushel? Look. This is my story, my tidbit. Journalist info is livelihood, end quote. I see. God, can someone just get him out of here? I don't care how. While you have me chatting away in here, what's going on out there? What if some Wally Wordsworth or Sally Scooper gets wind of my story? They could be going to press while I'm going to waste. The court feels your pain, Mr. Brushel. Mr. Justice, let's just pick up the pace. A certain case 7 years ago. Wait, 7 years ago? She's just sitting there like, I have no idea what's going on. A sense of a story. Actually, it took a bit of work to get a thumbs up on the interview. So, we're supposed to use the thing now. Reporter leverages his story to get his interview, end quote. I'm just looking for one that seems likely. One that seems like it would have a change, or something with a different animation. The story concerned a certain case from 7 years ago. The red envelope probably had something to do with it. Say what you will, but Drew's talent was without compare. That testimony left a bad taste in my mouth. Yeah, I know, he's leaving a bad taste on my eyes. It all makes sense, nothing jumps out as ridiculous. I wonder what this story he's talking about is. It must have been good to get an interview with a famous recluse like that. Something powerful enough to drag Drew Misham out of hiding. I wonder. Maybe it had something to do with Mr. Misham's art. You better let me have an interview with you, or else I'll go on Twitter and say your art is bad. No, don't do that. Okay, we can get an interview anytime you want. Okay, well, he only has several different animations. He has one with the brush on his head, the one while he's smiling, and the one while he's less smiling. So, my guess would be to go for the one where he's smiling super large. I will look at you. Look into my eyes, mister. Oh, God. Oh, no, this is the worst. This is... Hey guys, Red here, and welcome back to Resident Evil 7. Nothing to do with his neck. Nothing's moving. I don't even know where I'd look. I don't see anything. Here again, just once. God, I don't like you. I really don't like you. I don't hear or see anything there. There's nothing there for us to investigate, really. Okay. Oh my goodness, I've tried like 3 of these statements now. I have no clue what this is. I have no clue. But what? I can't find anything wrong with you. Everything you do is weird. I don't know how to identify weird with you. I've been doing this for like 15 minutes. Wait, what the hell? Is that what I'm supposed to find? What? I'm supposed to be paying attention to his armpit sweats? Gross. But why does it just absorb back into his body? He's like, oh, I'm so nervous. Never mind, it's okay. It's back inside of me. At least I found what I think we were supposed to find. That is one of the most tiny details ever. And I was so lucky to have noticed that even at the 20-minute mark. I mean, I understand you're supposed to be searching and it's supposed to be difficult, but this is a bit much, in my opinion, to look for. It's such a, especially just on the screen being in black and white, it's such a very small thing to happen. Gotcha! Oh, we got it, thank goodness. Sweat much, Mr. Brushel? Yeah, well, a man can't help his glands, you know. It's more than that. When Mr. Misham's talent was mentioned, you suddenly began to sweat buckets. You're hiding something about his talent. What? That's ridiculous. Evidence time. My favorite part of the day, evidence time. Let's show where Mr. Misham's true talent lay. It just so happens that I have evidence showing the talent mentioned in that letter. Do we? Do we? I don't... What? I don't understand what I'm looking for. What do you mean? It just so happens that I have evidence showing the talent mentioned in that letter. Is it one of the paintings? I don't understand. Does he mean the hidden painting? Because that sounds like something, right? This one is one that I'm going to admit I'm completely just guessing on. It says proof of talent, but I have no idea why or for what reason I'm doing this, but it seems too vague to be any of these other 3 ones, so I'm just gonna go for hidden painting and try, I guess? I don't know. Oh, whoa, it worked! I'm a smart. I did it good. This painting was found in Mr. Misham's studio. There are 2 problems with this painting. The first is it wasn't painted by Mr. Misham. The second is that there was another painting in the studio, which looked exactly like this one, except it was only half done. Then we have a letter discussing a payment of $100,000, which suggests a certain business operation. The business of making forgeries. Oh, I think I understand now. I think I get it. Are you okay? That is all, Your Honor. Everyone, please, everyone. Can we keep this private, please? Just between you and me and all those people on the cameras and the people in the courtroom and the judge and Clavier, just everyone. This is my story, my scoop. Forgery, that is a serious crime. Drew Misham is known as an artist these days. But there were rumors he dabbed in another kind of art until a few years back. Another art meaning? Forgery? Drew Misham was talented, alright. Talented at making precise, detailed fakes. A fact that certain criminal elements were quick to discover. Criminal elements? I don't understand what he means by that. What you can't seriously be talking about. Exactly, I'm talking about forging evidence. The rumors started circulating 7 years ago. Oh my god, everything's 7 years ago. 7 years ago? Oh no, don't make me think about it. No. So are we to understand that this letter, this payment of $100,000 was for... Exactly. Forged evidence nets tidy profit, end quote. Is this evidence... What I expect this to do is I expect it to go back and it's like, oh, this is the evidence that was forged 7 years ago that lost Phoenix's badge, but it's actually going to be like, oh, like Phoenix is gonna walk in the courtroom and he's gonna be like, oh, what's up, Apollo? Oh, there's my forged evidence. Shit. What do you mean, Mr. Justice? I mean nothing. Of course. Order, order, order. Why, it's like our victim was living a double life. This is my chance. So the victim had ties to the criminal world, right? He could have had plenty of enemies we know nothing about. Oh, Clavier's finally gonna step in. This is my first time hearing of this criminal world. We certainly found no criminal connections when we conducted our investigation. But how do you explain all this money? You have to admit there's a possibility of some legal activity here, or illegal. All these objections in 5 seconds. But there's no proof tying this letter to our case. Our case was and remains simple from the beginning. Only the defendant could have poisoned that mug that night. And you, of course. Hey, the only thing is I poison is my pen when I'm writing reviews. Mr. Brushel, your testimony to this point has been quite unreliable and kinda stupid, and I'm really tired of looking at the back of your head. Or the front of your face, I guess I would say. The way the courtroom's depicted, it makes it look like the defendant is always giving whoever's on the stand is always directly below the judge, but I know they're actually across the room, aren't they? They're not just standing there directly below the judge, and the judge is facing them. But it looks weird. It looks like their back is up against the back of, like, where the judge is sitting. It doesn't speak well of your reporting acumen. What are you talking about? My journalism is rock solid. Journalism's so solid you could stand an elephant on it, end quote. In any case, oh, I'm so tired of this bullshit. I just want to get out of here and go get some cotton candy. Let's hear a summarized recap of your testimony. We can ascertain the situation in that studio from the recap. The trial is over.
Apollo, what's he talking about?
The cross-examination showed Mr. Brushel didn't have a reason or means to poison him. As long as there are no other suspects, then the killer had to be Vera. That's what. This next testimony is our last chance. Trucy has had very little to say in these last two cases. Oddly enough, like, the first case, she was almost leading us in a way. And then these last two cases so far, she's just been standing there like,
I don't understand what's going on. Can I shoot him now?
It's like, no, Trucy, not yet. Mr. Brushel, your testimony, please. Interview, a recap. The only other person in the studio that night was the defendant. It was Vera who poured the coffee. She admitted as much herself. The only thing that touched Drew's lips during the interview was that mug. And nothing left that studio after he died. Nothing. Clearly, the only one who could have poisoned him was his daughter. A nice testimony, clear, succinct, and without room for doubt. Never actually heard that word either before. Aw, shucks, you really think so? I believe this clarifies the situation that night. Very well, Mr. Justice, you may begin your final cross-examination. Right. I'm turning this bitch up to Dark Souls. You mess this up, I'd take away your entire health bar and all your souls. But Judge, I don't have any soul. By souls, I mean your wallet. I still have one trump card left to play. And I won't let this trial end until I use it. The interviewer, recap. I actually don't know what to say here, so I'm just gonna press everything. But that doesn't prove Vera poisoned it. How many times have we heard that one on her forehead? The poison reached its victim via that coffee mug. And from where did that coffee mug come from, huh? Not to beat a dead horse again and again, but perhaps you could fill us in. You need a horse beat? I'm your man. Jesus. It was Vera who poured the coffee. And you witnessed her pouring the coffee? Of course I didn't witness it. When she came in with that tray, the coffee was already poured and steaming. Let us not forget the defendant had admitted to pouring the coffee herself. I heard her statements, I poured, I served, and I killed. What? The last part was just a little joke. Wasn't it funny, Apollo? Wasn't it funny? Oh god, I hate you, Clavier. I love you, Apollo. Wait, what was... nothing. I don't think I'm going to get anywhere with this coffee mug. I need to find another weak spot in this case. It's here somewhere, I know it. The only thing that touched Drew's lips during that interview was the mug. Hold on, I just need to look at our evidence again. Drew Misham deposited $100,000. It's so hard for me to read this. Sign papers and send in the enclosed envelope and the stamp within the tags. I need not remind you what happened to this. I have such a hard time reading this. It's ridiculous. A frame measuring 2 inches by 2 inches bears traces of deadly poison atroquinine. And nothing left at that studio after he died. Nothing. Nothing left. That sounds a bit... Could something have left? He went to the magic show after he died. I don't know. Oh, duh! I'm an idiot. The letterbox. Right there. That completely contradicts that statement because I believe Drew Misham's contact with the outside world is empty. So that means he totally could have messaged someone from the outside because that's his only mean of messaging. And if someone took the letter out of the letterbox, they wouldn't even know he's dead. And they would just take it and be like, okay, time to leave. Let's hope this is the right one. Because I have so far only lost 1 blip of health out of pure luck. But this one's skill if it works. Yes! Yes, yes, yes! Got it, again! This is the only link between that studio and the outside world. A letterbox? What did Mr. Brushel just tell us? When he entered the studio on the night of the murder, the victim had just finished writing a letter. Yeah, I said that. Yeah, it's true. Furthermore, you went on to tell us that he put the letter in a yellow envelope and put it in the letterbox. Oh! But that very same letterbox was empty. In other words, that night the yellow envelope disappeared. Yes, intriguing. So an envelope has disappeared from the scene of the crime. Of course, this changes nothing. Huh? He has a point, Mr. Justice. Well, that was fast. I'm glad I got over Apollo's bullshit instantly. What we're trying to figure out is how the poison got into Mr. Misham. Is it really important that this envelope the witness says he saw disappeared? Well, if it did disappear, then something did leave the studio that night. That seems very important to me. Very well, then the witness will add this to his testimony. You got it. I still think this fails to change anything in her forehead. I wouldn't be so sure. A letter disappeared from the crime scene that night? This is exactly the opening I've been looking for. I actually have no idea where we're going with this Apollo, so... Oh, at least I can press him on this now, I guess. Nothing could be more serious than an envelope disappearing from that studio. And you were hiding that fact from us. Yes, well, actually. I don't argue the possibility that a letter disappeared from that studio. But our forehead, isn't there a much more serious question before us? Right, how Mr. Misham was poisoned, I know. But Mr. Brushel's story has changed, which means the facts of the case have too. And what he's told us means something entirely different now. I'm starting to think.
Let's keep thinking, Apollo.
Well, obviously I have to present something there. I just don't know what. A letter was put in the post box from the studio, but I hardly think that matters. Doesn't it, though? The envelope from Mr. Wright. Could this be the... Well, it's not yellow. Do not open until the right time? Could this be it? Because I couldn't see using the red envelope again. Because it says the thing about the $100,000. I don't know. There's something we have to present somehow, but it's just not clicking with me. I don't know. We'll just try the grandma envelope. Although I highly doubt it's going to mean anything. Your Honor, that statement contradicts this... Nope. Butler, how could you be so goddamn stupid? That doesn't have anything to do with anything. I'm sorry, Your Honor. Did you even go to law school? I think I did. It's very unclear. A frame measuring 2 inches by 2 inches bears traces of deadly poison atrachrony. I don't know what that means. What was in there? That doesn't make any sense. Okay, let's try the other letter then. Red envelope. This evidence clearly reveals a contradiction. Oh, great. Apollo, the music didn't stop playing. You know what that means? I know what it means, Judge. Just hit me with it. Just do it already. No. Nothing that won me any points with the judge. Okay, something is honestly telling me that this isn't the problem. I feel like it's this one. But I'm not sure. You're sure about that?
Well, to be really precise, I was busy gobbling mint candles the whole time.
Or candies, not candles.
I like to eat candles. They keep my body warm.
Yet at the time of the autopsy, no fresh fragrance of mint filled the room. And no mint residue was found. It was a long shot anyway. Don't tell me you're still trying to prove this. You think the victim ate, drank, or otherwise ingested something rather than coffee? Oh, well, Mr. Justice. If you have some proof. The possibility is there and I can feel it. Just maybe, not prove it. Not yet. And possibility isn't going to cut it. Not okay, it is the statement. Mr. Misham ingested... I'm gonna go for it because I have no other choice. I don't know what else to do. I can prove it. The proof is possible. Here goes nothing. Oh yeah, I gotta play this sick guitar riff. A harmonic minor. You do understand when we need proof for a forehead, not possibilities. Of course. And Prosecutor Gavin, I hope you understand. I'm ready to give you that proof. Oh, I see where we're going. Wait, what? What did you say? Are you being dominant for once? I have proof of the disappearing envelope. I saw him writing a letter, I did. Which was picked up by the mailman, I assume. Of course, which means... that envelope had a stamp on... Oh, I get where he's going with this. It's the frame. The frame has a stamp, and if poison was on the stamp, and then he licked the stamp, and then drank the coffee... Oh, I get it now. Wow, Apollo got that way before me, but that's kind of a stretch also. Really is. That envelope had a stamp on it. A stamp? Oh. As we all know, stamps come with dried glue on the back. In order to use the glue, you would have had to wet it by licking the stamp. Huh. Wow, normally he gets all like freaked out when I make a revelation like this, but this time it's just like, fuh. No one worth talking to actually licks stamps in this day and age. Even if you wanted to talk to him, you couldn't. He's dead after all. Okay, so he licked the stamp, but wait. How does that explain the atropine on the rim of the coffee mug? If he licked the back of a poison stamp, the poison would get on his tongue, yes? What would then happen if he put a coffee mug to his mouth, Those traces on the mug weren't the killer's doing, it was the other way around. What? The coffee mug didn't poison Mr. Misham. Mr. Misham poisoned the coffee mug himself. Holy shit, Apollo, you just come to revelations after light, don't you?
God, I can't talk today. Order, order, order. I'm gonna break my gavel pretty soon. But that does it?
Recall, if you would. Atropine is a slow-acting poison, yes? The poison entered his body when he put the stamp on that envelope. But his time wasn't up until the very moment he touched his lips to that cup of joe. He's just sitting like, holy shit. And Clavier's like, damn, I'm impressed.
I don't know what's going on. Ah, yes, that's right. I need to go back to Satan and report to him my report.
You have something to add, Mr. Brushel? Uh-oh, his nose is picking up another scent.
As I believe I mentioned earlier. Well, that's the thing. See, after he put his letter in that envelope, Mr. Misham sat there searching his desk drawer for something. Yes, a stamp, a so-called postage stamp, end quote. But you know, I don't seem to remember him ever finding one.
Maybe he just run out? Incidentally, we searched the yeah, I don't think he's the killer, I really don't. Incidentally, we searched the desk drawer at the scene of the crime. There was no stamps, not a single one.
Oh, that does pose a problem. How will you prove that the stamp was coated with poison?
Actually, I'm glad no other stamps were found. It makes proving the stamp he was used poison. Wait, it makes proving the stamp he used was poison possible. Good show, good show. You can't even prove there was a stamp at the scene in the first place.
Well, let's hear what the defense has to say anyway. Apollo, as much as I wanted to skip over you and go home, you can talk. Look, you only have 2 pits of your life bar left. I could just kill you right here.
Please don't, Judge, please. Please.
My super bar is filled.
But yeah, the stamp was in this tiny frame, wasn't it?
There we go. Well, that certainly is a cute little frame, and by little, I mean really little.
It was on the victim's desk, Your Honor. Quite empty, as you can see for yourself. I noticed that too during my inspection, so what? Apparently you weren't as observant as you should have been. You see, when you saw this frame, it was missing something quite important.
Missing something?
Yes, a blue palish stain on the inside of the frame. Atropine residue. What? Why wasn't I told about this? God damn it, that shitty scientist. I'm in the courtroom, you know. The frame is only 2 inches square. The face of the frame is even smaller. Maybe 1 inch wide at most. You aren't saying. Oh, but I am. Tell me, what fits in such a small frame? A commemorative stamp, perhaps?
Order, order, order. God damn, this is awesome. I love my job. I love my life.
I'd love to think that, you know, the judge is a pretty happy guy. He's probably the kindest person in this series, except towards Phoenix, who he's instantly ready to kill and imprison at all times.
The poison stamp was in this frame?
Oh, gotta hit this wall. Impossible.
Prosecutor Gavin, why are you hitting the wall? I paid you like $50 not to do that.
Why would he put something like that on his desk? Don't tell me he had it there so he could commit suicide if the mood struck.
You know, can I say something? Can I say something? I had thought, see? What, Mr. Brushel? Please stop chittering around like that. The victim was a forger, right? There's a lot of money in that line of work. A forger forges friends, makes enemies too, end quote.
So the poison stamp might have been a murder weapon aimed at him.
Some of those hand motions are wrong. Just saying. Just saying.
Oh, Rich, that's rich. Leave the ridiculous flights of fancy to the Gavineer's song lyrics, please. Finally, something we can agree on. The stamp was a murder weapon. Nonsense. Murder is a simple business. Why go to such lengths? Who would go to such lengths? No one. Oh, I disagree. Come again? Recall, if you would, the victim's reclusive lifestyle.
Dad, you have to go outside eventually. You really have to.
No, not until I finish watching every last episode of One Piece. Drew Misham hid something from the world. He avoided meetings. His only contact to the outside world was the mail.
Does that mean his daughter didn't go outside too? The mail! Now, if you wanted to kill someone you couldn't meet, but you knew red letters, a stamp would be the perfect weapon. Ridiculous. Where's your proof? I want proof. Show us evidence that this poison stamp was sent to him as a murder weapon. I might not have evidence, per se, but things are finally starting to come together. What is it, Apollo? Your fists are trembling with anger. I think I know what happened. I don't believe it, but I can see it. I think I know how Mr. Misham was killed. Well, fill us in, Mr. Justice. A certain piece of evidence points to the truth, Your Honor. I can show you how someone with the intent to kill sent Mr. Misham the stamp of death. With the intent to kill? Wouldn't it just be his mailbox again? The letterbox? Isn't that kind of obvious, guys? Or are we just ignoring it? Okay, just letterbox. I'm not sure it's entirely clear to me what this proves, Mr. Justice. Huh? Was I wrong? I believe we have shown probable intent to kill. Except the killer would be our judge and the victim you. Ah, he's so cool. Consider that a warning, Mr. Justice. You might get a game over at this rate. Oh, looky. Only one more pip. I haven't killed anyone this whole game. A certain piece of evidence points to the truth, Your Honor. And I swear I'll get it right this time. Apollo, stop crying, little pansy. So my other guess would be the red letter. Please? Oh, thank God. There is no room for error right now. There is no room. Isn't this the envelope, the one from 7 years ago? Think about the text of the letter again. Mr. Drew Misham. There were 2 pages in the envelope. This is page 1. And this is page 2. I want to draw your attention to one phrase in particular. Send in the enclosed envelope with the enclosed stamp within 3 days. The enclosed stamp, Your Honor. Oh. In other words, I have this straight. It's the stamp, poison on the stamp, lick, lick, gasp, end quote. Yeah, I have a strong feeling this guy's gonna walk out of here pretty happy with his story, and I'm not gonna have to arrest him, sadly. Now, what if he had done exactly as the letter had asked? He would sign the document, put it in the envelope, and put the stamp on it, right? Then he would put it in his letterbox. 15 minutes wouldn't have elapsed between affixing the stamp and mailing the letter. But the clock started ticking when the time came. He drew his last breath. And the murder weapon would be taken away from the crime scene. Quite conveniently, thanks to the postal system. Wow, our postal system's amazing. Such a splendid imagination you have, forehead. Let me confirm one thing with you, if I might. So, this poison stamp was inside this envelope from 7 years ago, yeah? Is that what you'd have us believe, really? Well... It's a little bit of a stretch, but there's a possibility. Yes, a very small possibility. How small, I wonder. A poison stamp in this envelope. A stamp that then became the murder weapon. How do you intend to prove this seeming coincidence? Well... it was 7 years ago. We don't even know who sent that letter. And your answer is silence, I see. Very well. I move to... It's not nice to pick on the Fraulein Clavier. Oh, is it Phoenix? God damn it. What? How? What? What just happened? I'm a shapeshifter, I forgot to mention. Did she just imitate him to scare off Clav? That's awesome. Good job, Emma. Emma? Well, like my Christoph Gavin impression, did I sound like him? Don't quit your day job. Don't you have a crime scene to be looking after, Fraulein Detective? Someone had to come dig you all out of this mess you're making of this case. Mess? You know, none of this would have happened if you just trusted in science a little more. You can find out if that stamp was in that envelope easy.
Care to explain yourself, Fräulein Detective?
Glare at me all you want, but science is on my side. It's all in the residue, right?
That's right, the poison detection spray.
Produce the red envelope at once. You can open it on the authority of the court. Time to spray. There it is. We see it now, don't we?
Good job. I was kind of afraid Emma wasn't going to do anything substantial this entire case, but she's just showing up at the right moment.
Well, would you look at that?
No mistaking it. That's an atracronine residue.
I mean, how can you expect anything else from me, best Snaku?
I don't believe it. A murder weapon from the past. Now 7 years later, it bears its fangs at last.
Ugh. Absolutely outrageous. Tell me why. Why didn't this murder take place 7 years ago?
Well, there's one possibility. Maybe Mr. Misham figured it out.
Figured out what?
He realized that the person who sent the letter wanted him dead. So he sent his reply with a different stamp.
And put his decisive evidence in a frame? Oh, you're still here? What happened to Emma? She was right there.
I don't know where she went. I just walked up here and she disappeared into the air. Can I make a statement here on the record? I, Spock, Residue Brushel, claim this scoop is mine. Drew Misham killed in cold blood. By sender of 7-year-old letter, end quote. No, maybe something more succinct. Star falls after 7-year delay, end quote.
Order, order, order! I see no room for further argument here, for I will not argue with idiots. I am the smartest person here, obviously. Though I admit this is all coming as quite a shock. To think that the murder weapon reached this mouth after 7 years. Stamp is take it straight to afterlife, end quote.
Uh-oh, I think the witness is a bad influence on our judge.
The judge just cracks a gigantic smile.
Help me! I can't. It hurts. I can't change my face back. I see no need for further debate on this matter. The sender of that letter 7 years ago could hardly have been our defendant.
Apollo!
I think we just won.
Very well. This court finds defendant. Well, normally I'd stop myself, but Clavia, you're too cool, so say what you want.
Is this the bright future of our legal system?
Prosecutor? Gavin?
I take it to the afterlife from 7 years ago. Take it to the Gavinier show or invalid after 2 weeks.
But it doesn't make sense any other way.
It boggles my mind that so many people haven't noticed this. There's a fatal contradiction in Forehead's claim. Oh no, his theme is playing. Okay, I lost. A contradiction? A poison stamp was placed in this envelope 7 years ago, whereupon it was framed until now. If that's the case, then why would Drew Misham have done what he did? Emma explained that he must have realized it was poisoned. Therein lies the rub. 7 years ago, the forger Drew Misham sensed a trap and put the stamp in a frame. I do not debate this, but this begs a question. Why 7 years later did he use that stamp on the night of the murder? Surely you don't mean to suggest Mr. Misham simply forgot. He put the murder weapon in a frame on his desk for 7 years and forgot. You expect us to believe he sprang a trap on himself?
Yeah, kinda. It's not working out for me, is it? It's not my day. Well, I admit this is all quite shocking myself. It does seem highly unlikely that he would fall afoul of a trap that had been sitting on his desk for 7 years.
Apollo! One time I ate graham crackers that I left on my desk for
Yeah, that's nice, Trucy. I don't think we're winning anymore. I'm glad to see we're all back in the real world now, the world where I win everything. Welcome back to reality. We've been waiting for you. Oh, okay, then how do you explain the poison stamp that was in this envelope? The poison stamp? Where exactly is this poison stamp again? Have you brought it to court for us? I see no proof that such a thing ever existed. Just objection again. What about the atrachinine residue, huh? Oh, I agree. That does seem to be atrachinine residue. Butter, forehead. It's certainly no stamp. Yeah, but... even if your precious poison stamp did exist, Drew Misham never would have used it. That is all.
Why is he always right? I believe we've come to a conclusion again.
Apollo, we were wrong the whole time?
My voice is cracking now. I can't believe it. The poison traces match up. It can't be a coincidence.
I'd like to bring some closure to this issue sometime this year. I have to attend the Play Judge 2017 convention. It's a very important moment for judges where we get to flaunt our stuff around.
Please, Sir Judge, I don't want to hear any more.
Mr. Justice?
Yes, Your Honor?
Let's review the facts and see where we stand. 7 years ago, Drew Misham received a red envelope. There were traces of the poison atrachinine on the document inside that envelope. Similar traces also found at the crime scene. On this tiny picture frame, it's so adorable. The defense has indicated the possibility of a yellow envelope. An envelope that left the scene of the crime with the poison stamp on it.
Yes, but even if this envelope contained a poison stamp, and Drew Misham, knowing this, put it in a frame, he never would have used that stamp.
I'm afraid you're right. Which means there is a fatal flaw in the defendant's case.
I haven't been on the wrong track this whole time, I'm sure of it. Traces of atrachinine, the envelope, the frame, and Drew Misham's mysterious death. They're all connected somehow.
Well, Mr. Justice, you have a conclusion for us?
The defense stands by its case, Your Honor. We've seen that the logical outcome of the evidence makes no sense, which means that one of our clues must be a fake. Fake clue. Fascinating. And if we find this fake, your wild fantasies will prove quite reasonable, yeah? The fake clue that's thrown us off the poison's trail is none other than the red envelope, the frame, Drew Misham. Drew Misham's the fake clue. I don't even... What is the fake clue? I mean, everything adds up. I'm almost willing to yell the most ridiculous thing and yell Drew Misham. I mean, we lose if I yell this. And it's wrong. Okay, whatever. Let's just go for it.
The victim was a fake clue? I'm afraid I don't understand.
I'll explain. Oh, you actually got something right. We have an envelope, a frame, and a mug linked by poison. That all makes sense. What doesn't make sense is the victim himself. Congratulations, you've completely lost me.
Don't worry, Clavier, I've been lost the whole time too.
Well, that's adorable. So the fake evidence is none other than the master of fake himself, right? The forger. It makes a good story, I'll give you that. The fake clue. Fakes. Forgeries.
I know that face. That's a I just had an idea face. Either that or I really need to go to the bathroom. Both I neither want to see on your face.
I don't know if I'm right, but I'm going with it anyway. What if our forger is the fake? Come again. He's about to spout something ridiculous, isn't he? 7 years ago, our forger sniffed a trap and stepped aside. 7 years passed. Now the forger stumbles into the very same trap and dies, but why?
That's what I want to know.
Because the forger who was killed was a fake. Here we are again. The victim was a fake. One forger smelled the trap, one forger fell into the trap. That's two forgers and one of them was a fake. Hear that? My theme's playing, Clavier. Fear me.
Order, order, order.
Ugh. So you're telling us that Drew Misham, the victim, was a fake? Well, if he was the fake, who was the real forger? You better not be claiming there was some kind of switcheroo.
I'm afraid you're going to have to back up your story. Mr. Justice, show us just who the real Drew Misham was.
If Drew Misham wasn't the real forger, there's only one other person it could have been. Understood, Your Honor. The forger Drew Misham was himself a forgery.
The real forger was Phoenix Wright.
Apollo, wait, what? Why am I being called into court? Apollo, what is this bullshit?
Finally, I put him in jail for good.
It's just what I wanted. It'd have to be his daughter, wouldn't it? Vera Misham. There can only be one explanation, really. The real identity of the forger, known as Drew Misham, is none other than his only daughter, Vera Misham.
Order, order, order! Mr. Justice, this is going out on a limb even for you!
I kinda agree. I mean, Vera, a forger? Let's consider it before you write it off entirely. If you look at the paintings on the studio, one fact becomes quite clear. Forgery had been taking place in that studio for quite some time. The forger wasn't caught in that trap 7 years ago. This can only mean This can only mean that the one who was caught in the trap wasn't the forger.
Well, actually, that does make a certain kind of sense.
One more thing. Only 2 sets of fingerprints were found in the forger's studio. Drew Misham's and Vera Misham's. You know what this kind of reminds me of? This kind of reminds me of one of the cases I really liked. I don't know about whole public opinion on that case, but the case where the 2 sisters switched around, I forgot which game it was. But that one was one of my favorites. I love that one in the revelation at the end. Although, if by realistic standards, it doesn't really make sense because there's like fingerprint marks that would go on and they'd figure out eventually and things like that, but whatever. If we know that Drew Misham wasn't the forger, that leaves only one possibility by process of elimination. The forger was Vera Misham. Well... Damn it, you're just so cool, I guess I have to give up now. Fascinating.
Vera Misham, you've been paying attention to the trial so far?
Let's just ask her and we'll be done with it, shall we? Who are you? Who is the forger, Drew Misham? Chill, Clavier. She's super scared. What was that? An expression of emotion I saw on her face? She's staring holes into Prosecutor Gavin's face. Oh, it has something to do with his brother, doesn't it? It's probably because they look so similar and it has something to do with a case 7 years ago. And he probably reminds of Clavier's brother. How did I actually forget his name? Hold on a second. I mean, I doubt it'll actually be in the profile, so for the court record. Oh, that's right. His brother's name was Christoph Gavin. I almost forgot. I'm used to being stared at by Fraulein's, believe me. Though they usually talk to me, too. Tell us, were you the one who forged the works of art? Yes. Well, that was a simple confession.
So, the forger Drew Misham was you?
Oh, I like this idea of a character. Yes, it was me. What?
What?
Judge, you can calm down. Use your inside voice in the court.
There is no time for inside voices, Clavier.
The court was in an uproar and it wasn't coming down. We had to break for a 10-minute recess. To be continued. Oh my goodness, this is so good. I like it. So I'm gonna end the episode here, but I can't wait to see what this case concludes to, how it relates to the case 7 years ago, because it has to, right? We've talked about it way too much for it not to go back and be like, oh yeah, this is how I lost my badge, Apollo. I almost forgot to tell you. And it's just, I'm having so much fun with this game. Anyways, thank you guys for supporting me. There's a fair amount of you who have already played this game and are just watching me play it. Thank you for that. It's weird that so many people who have already played this game are watching me, but then again, I really did not notice how long ago this game came out. I did not know how old it was until I started playing it and I looked things up about it. But for those of you who are also experiencing it for the first time, just like me,
It's quite a ride. It's quite a ride, I bet. Anyways, thank you for watching. If you like the video, please leave a like. It makes me feel good, and it pushes that like number up one more, which in turn makes it look like analytics go. I don't even know. Anyways, if you want to become a member of the Dust Brigade, just subscribe. Thank you and have a wonderful day. Right now.